Hello Internet, I'm TychoCelchuuu and you're listening to a Men of War shoutcast. Or it's a Men of War video. I know it's been a long time. I could give excuses, but who cares? I just bought a submachine gun infantry squad. That's what I start off with these days. This is a random 2v2. I had free time to play, which doesn't happen very often. I said I would like to play, and so I just started up a server. So these are 3 people I don't know. One of them my ally, 2 of them not my allies. Looks like he made it there with a motorcycle early off, so I'm pulling my men back. The motorcycle comes equipped with a machine gun in the sidecar, so you don't want to rush that. At least one person has hopped off the motorcycle. That's a good idea if you don't want to keep it mobile, because you don't need the driver on it, but it turns out he hopped the gunner out, and I don't know what he's doing, or at least I did not know back when I was playing. That's some weird stuff. He drives his motorcycle deep into my lines and dismounts. So this is an AT rifle I bought. I usually buy an AT rifle dude second off to deal with any light vehicles. Of course, it was far too late to deal with his motorcycle, but we will see what he was doing that for. A couple men die in the middle. I lost 2 men, actually. You just saw 1 die, but 1 died earlier. And but otherwise, that was the right, not the middle, but I fought off those people, so I'm taking it, and also I'm moving in on the middle. You notice I've split my forces in 2 from the very beginning of the game, and I've gone for both points, and I find that's a pretty useful thing to do. It certainly doubles the micro requirement. Like, I'm not kidding, it makes it a lot harder to play if you're fighting on 2 fronts, but the advantages are multifold. I mean, the thing is, if you're doubling your micro efforts, you're also doubling the opponent's micro efforts, because if they don't do anything in the middle, for example, and they just fight over the right, well, then you're actually not going to have to fight on the right. I'm looking for this guy who's hiding. Turns out he's in a building. I thought I saw some grenade fly out of the building, but it turns out that was my guy throwing a grenade in, I believe. He was smart enough to do that before I told him, so that was pretty awesome. People in Men of War can surprise you with how intelligent they are, and they can also surprise you with how willing they are to get killed because they're stupid. So, you know, it's a 2-sided coin, and you can buy things with it because it's a coin. So I'm also looking for his motorcycle, which he stashed somewhere, and I put a couple people on it, but it soon becomes apparent that he took the machine gun off of the motorcycle. Pretty much any mounted machine gun, like on a tank or a motorcycle or any other vehicle, you can remove and use with one of your men. This is really useful if sorry, if the vehicle I'm coughing no, if the vehicle is shot up or something, and you can just yank the machine gun off. Do not forget to bring the ammo. You have to examine the machine, or examine the vehicle to take the. You have to open up the vehicle's inventory to take the machine gun out. You just use the examine button, the little I button in the bottom right. But you also have to take the ammo while you're there, or else you'll have 1 clip's worth, 1 magazine's worth. I don't know what's the difference, but and then you'll run out. So I'm tossing a smoke grenade because he's got either a machine gunner or a guy with a machine gun there, and I'm trying to move in on that point. There's that little wall I can sneak behind, but whatever. That's a BA-11 armored car? Yeah, BA-11, the Soviets get that, and it will die pretty fast to my anti-tank rifleman, which is what I was trying to do there, but that didn't quite work out, so I'll try to head him off at the pass. You notice I have had control of the middle the entire time, and this is pretty bad. He shot right through the tram and killed my AT rifleman, so that didn't work out. Now I'm reduced to running at it and trying to throw AT grenades, but of course he shoots me down. That thing has a little turret on top that shoots explosive things. That's what killed my AT dude, plus it's got a machine gun. The turret was not facing me, so I run in to try and chuck an AT grenade, but my man gets killed just before he does. It's very important to pay attention which way the turret is facing on a vehicle, because those extra second or 2 that you get, those extra seconds, plural, or 2 that you get on sneaking up on a turned turret can mean the difference between life and death. And if it's on a tank, especially a heavy tank like the Tiger, like, it takes forever for their turret to swivel around. You could run circles around them literally with people, and they would not be able to point at you with their turret. Of course, once you made it to the front of the tank, the whole machine gun would have cut you down, you die, but you know, it's the spirit of the thing, right? So always be paying attention to where their turrets are, because you can buy a couple seconds and do some crazy stuff with your infantry. In this case, of course, I did not buy any seconds. I didn't buy anything. All I bought was a one-way ticket to death. But, you know, it was a good try. Everything I do is a good try. I don't do anything wrong, ever. I'm infallible, like the Pope. I'm related to the Pope in a lot of ways. I was never part of the Hitler Youth, though. He's got one up on me for that. Although I am playing as Germany in this game. I bought a Puma. Puma is one of my favorite, if not my favorite, light vehicles in the game. It combines a pretty good top speed. You know, it's not slow or anything. Good maneuverability. It has 8 wheels, which is good because the more wheels you have, the more round things, and round things are lucky. I'm not sure if that's really true, but I like round things. It has a very nice gun. It's probably the biggest part of the Puma. The Puma gun is really powerful enough to not only kill every light vehicle, as I've just killed this light vehicle through a tram, maybe through 2 trams. So it's certainly powerful enough to do that. Apparently overkill, the Puma keeps shooting. It's definitely powerful enough to do that. It'll kill infantry, obviously, if loaded with an HE round, but it can also even kill tanks. An engine hit from the Puma on a tank is pretty much going to knock out the tank, and it's even powerful enough to punch through the front or the side of most tanks' armor, as long as it's not sloped. I'm fighting Russians, so I'll probably be fighting T-34s, which means Puma's not going to be any use from the front. Not that the gun is bad, but the T-34 has very nice sloping armor. Puma gun does not handle slopes so well, but get an engine hit on a T-34, that's a dead T-34, and all for the price of a Puma. So I really like the Puma. I buy it pretty much every time I play the Germans, certainly much more than I buy the equivalent light tanks. If you're curious what I'm shooting at, there's this guy in the front of the tram, and he's just annoying me, so I'm shooting at him with my Puma. I used the shells a couple times, but I missed because you need pitch-perfect aiming, so I switched to the machine gun. If you're in direct control, you just right-click to swap which guns you're firing. In pretty much like 100% of, well, for infantry it'll swap to whatever they're holding in their grenade hand, but for vehicles it'll pretty much swap to the machine gun, is typically what it does. I guess there's probably a couple vehicles where it's some other different secondary thing, I don't know, but it's the Puma, it's the machine gun, I use the machine gun, blah 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 blah, he's dead. And that's very nice to know, because if you're direct controlling and infantry are sneaking up on you, and you've just fired your shell, you really need to kill the infantry with a machine gun, alright? Because otherwise you're going to die. So you just right-click to swap over to the machine gun and mow them down yourself. You can always give control to the AI. I often do that when I'm fighting infantry, because the AI is very nice with the machine gun. But when every second matters, you need to know how to switch to the machine gun without going down to the UI and clicking on it. Because yeah, the other option is don't direct control, but direct control is fun. We all like direct control. You see this close-in infantry fighting that I'm trying to manage on the middle, while also I try and take the left back. So you see how things can get very complex very quick, and you just have to stay on top of your game and perhaps hire a smaller person to man like the keyboard while you play, and or someone to yell at you while you play, to say like, "Hey, go over to the right, you're forgetting stuff." You could hire me. I'm probably good at that. I could do all sorts of things. Like my ally, for instance, is forgetting the left. Forgetting probably not the right word, because that's all he's focused on, but he is incompetent. Spoiler alert, I have played this game the entire time, and I don't think my ally ever manages to take the left. Maybe he does. It's not really a spoiler, because I don't even know what happens, but whatever. If you look in the bottom left, you see my Puma's front right wheel is damaged. That probably happened when I was driving recklessly through all sorts of things I ought not to have been driven recklessly through, but in any case, it doesn't impact the Puma much. It has 7 other wheels, and when you have 7 wheels, it really doesn't matter what happened to your right front wheel, as long as that's not one of the 7. The right front wheel of my Mako always got damaged in the first Mass Effect game. I don't know what that was. Like, I would jump off like a 1,000-foot cliff and land like on my back, and like you'd think it would explode, but it wouldn't. And all that would happen was the right front wheel would always go out. Of course, that made no difference to the Mako. So anyways, I'm sort of taking back the right. None of my infantry are in the capture zone, but as I say that, I rectify it. He's got his AT gun back here, and I've pretty much given up any chance of like shooting that thing. Especially because he's also got his T-34. So that is just way too close to enemy lines for me to do anything. Certainly if I had nothing else to do, if my 2 points were locked down and I was just like, la-di-da, I have all the time in the world, I could probably figure something out. I checked a grenade over a tram. Take note of that. You can throw grenades over things, like basketballs. I guess basketballs you don't really throw over things. You would throw a football over things. You can throw a basketball, whatever. Stupid guy shot me. Where does he get off shooting me? What was I saying? Oh yeah,